Hello and welcome to my Age of Wonders 4 guide. The guide today will be about the Chaos Eater unit. It's a tier 4 summonable battle mage unit from the Tome of Pandemonium. Unlike most battle mage units, this one is a melee mage, and so it can use its attack abilities while it's engaged in melee. And for its attack, it says it only does 8 damage, but it actually does 8 fire damage all the time, and it does 8 of another random element, so it's 16 damage. And it also has a 60% base chance of inflicting a random negative status effect. It also will inflict negative status effects on units that are attacking it. And after inflicting all of these negative status effects, it can use the Consume Chaos ability, and this will remove all negative status effects from all the enemies around it, and it will deal 12 damage for each status effect that has been removed, and it will also heal the Chaos Eater. So if you load up the enemies with status effects and then you get near them and use this ability, you can do very high amounts of damage, usually one-shotting every unit around you. So for our faction, our racial traits don't really matter since Chaos Eaters are not a racial unit. So just pick whatever you think is going to help you the most in the early game. For our culture, we're going to go with the high culture, ironically. The reason that we're going for the high culture is when you see here, if you're pure evil, your units will start combat in the awakened state for 3 turns. And your battle mages units, when they are awakened, they get 3 holy damage on their attacks, and more importantly, they can inflict another status effect distracted with their attacks. You can also build sun shrines. These are very good, so build them. And another very good thing for this build is exposing light. This is a very long range. Once you get distance evocation, it will be 7 range. It's an AoE, and it inflicts 2 status effects on everybody in the AoE. So this will be great on your heroes to help get more status effects for your Chaos Eaters. So for our society traits, we're going to get powerful evokers. Since we're stacking a bunch of battle mages, this skill will actually be useful for once. It'll give us more combat casting points. And we're going to get mana channelers for cheaper summons, and also our Chaos Eaters will be 1 rank higher than normal when we summon them. Our first tome will be the Tome of Evocation. It will give us lightning focus on our Chaos Eaters, which will give them a small chance to do another status effect and give them 2 damage on their attacks. This also will give us a summonable unit to help out in the early game a little bit, and some nice spells for the early game. You can just take whichever one of these you want. And that's our faction created. Our first tome was the Tome of Evocation. Our next tome after that is going to be the Tome of Necromancy. We're primarily taking this tome for the necrotic magic unit enhancement, so we'll give a base 60% chance of inflicting decaying, which will do 10 blight damage each turn, and it will prevent any units from healing. Our first tier 2 tome will be the Tome of Souls. This will give our Chaos Eater Soulbinder, which gives a base 90% chance to inflict another status effect, Soulbound, and will also increase their damage by 20% against units that are Soulbound. Our second tier 2 tome will be the Tome of Mayhem. This will give our Chaos Eaters the Mark of Misfortune unit enhancement, and this will allow them to inflict misfortune, which can stack up to 3 times, so this is another 3 status effects you can use for Consume Chaos, and it's not a chance-based thing, it always does this regardless of status resistance, so it's a nice spell to have for Chaos Eaters. Our first tier 3 is the Tome of the Cold Dark. So one of the things this gives us is a Frostfire. This is a very good research post. It can give up to 30 research. You can also get Marching Winter to turn your land into snow, which will help you for the Frostfires. And more importantly, the Flash Freeze ability will reduce enemy status resistance by 5 for all enemy armies in that province. And so it can help you a lot to put more status effects on enemies, so you can use Consume Chaos on them. When you're leveling up your leader, in order to get enough affinity to get all the tomes that you need for this build, make sure you take your first 2 leader signature skills in Chaos, and then take all the tomes you need, and then right before you get your tier 5 tome, you can take the reset, and you can get a affinity for Shadow, because we're going to need a Shadow affinity as well. Our next tier 3 tome will be the Tome of Pandemonium. We need this tome to summon the Chaos Eater, of course, so we need to get this tome, obviously. After that, instead of a tier 4 tome, we're going to get another tier 3 tome. This will give our Chaos Eaters the phasing enhancement, which will give them the phase ability, and so you can phase up to 6 units away, and it leaves 1 action point. And the Consume Chaos ability only requires 1 action point, so this is a great combo to get in the perfect position to use your Consume Chaos. Our next tier 4 tome is the Tome of Chaos Channeling. This will give all our Chaos Eaters demonic focus, and every time a unit dies in battle, they will get 1 stack of strengthened and heal for 5 hit points. It also gives the Fan the Inferno spell, which will inflict all enemy units with burning, and burning can stack up to 5 times, so it's more status effects for your Chaos Eaters. Our tier 5 tome will be the Tome of the Eternal Lord. This will give the Withering Mist ability, which can inflict 2 status effects each turn for 3 turns, and it will also give all Chaos Eater units the Curse of the Reaper ability, which has a 60% chance to instantly kill any non-hero enemy unit. And even if it's resisted, it still does 45 frost damage that goes through resistance, so it will be a flat 45 damage regardless of the enemy's defenses. So when you're leveling up your heroes, you should take Lightning Invoker. This will give you 2 extra status effects you can put on 3 other enemies. And also make sure you take Exposing Light, as this will give you 2 more status effects that you can put on everybody in a 1 hex radius. Distant Evocation is also nice to give you some extra range to land these abilities. And then you want to go down to support, you can get Twin Awaken. Defensive training is really good. And most importantly, you want to get Coordinated Strike, because this will give all your Chaos Eaters a 60% chance to mark a unit, which is another status effect you can use against units. And also it stacks up to 5 times, so you can get a lot of status effects with this ability. Alright, so let's test it out in battle. I decided to only bring 2 armies instead of 3 to make it a little bit more challenging.